Love lives here.
So how you feeling this morning? You feeling like you're headed in the right direction? Sure? All right. I don't know, there were a couple of yeah. Good morning. I am Jeff Ryan. I am the senior minister here at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, where we know that love lives here, and together we belong. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. So it's good to see one and all, both here and online, there at home on Facebook and YouTube, where we're streaming live every Sunday. So thank you for joining us. Whether you're joining us live or later on, it's good to have you joining us today as well. So earlier this week, I sent you an email. How many of you read your email? Huh? From office at riversidecsl.org. It never hits your spam if you make sure you put it in your received, right? I write to you and Sandra writes to you. We write to you every week. Sending you love notes and wishing you well and giving you ideas for your week. Yeah, it's great. You should read it. It would be lovely. I know. Sandra's pouring her heart out in it. I'm pouring my heart out in it. And then 5 people, yeah, I read it. Anyway, I'm over it now. So in that, I shared with you that today we're talking about let your future guide you. Yes? Let your future pull you. For those of you that read it, let your future pull you. And what I shared with you was Nancy Levin's transformation equation. Nancy Levin is one of my teachers and one of my dear friends. And she has a transformation equation, that transformation equals vision plus choice plus action. That if you want to change, if you want to transform, if you want to move forward, or you want to live into your future, then change is absolutely necessary, because otherwise we're just kind of staying stagnant. And what happens when we stay stagnant? Think of a pond. What happens to a pond? There's no mosquitoes. There's no movement in the pond, right? It gets stagnant. Yeah, there you go, Eddie. Pond scum. Ugh, right? Stinky. And things start dying. Things start growing, and then things start dying, right? When there's no movement, when there's stagnation. Yes? However, when there is flow and change is happening, then the water stays healthy. Likewise, we stay healthy when we continue to move and we continue to flow, even when our thoughts continue to move and flow, when our ideas continue to move and flow, when our beliefs continue to move and flow, right? Everything is in change. Everything is changeable. So therefore, when we're in that process, we can also then direct the course of those thoughts. We can direct the course of those beliefs. We can direct the course of our actions by choice. So first we have a vision as to where we're going. Next we make choices that align with that vision. And then we take action that's in alignment with those choices and with that vision, so that we are then moving forward in alignment. How's that sound? Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? Michael Beckwith says that pain pushes until vision pulls. Say that again. Yeah, Frank, I heard you. Pain pushes until vision pulls. Where are we at right now? Are we pushing or are we pulling? We're pushing. Yeah. Yeah. How many of you are pulling or being pulled? Couple few maybe being pulled. All right, a little bit of both, right? It's kind of a tug of war, kind of a little struggle back and forth. Yeah. So Nancy also says that the your current state, your present state, where you are presently, your present is the crystal ball of your future. Right? Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it, Corey? Right? That your present is the crystal ball of your future, meaning that if you don't do anything and you just keep on keeping on, just like you have been, guess what? You're going to get more of the same. Right? So if you want to know what your future looks like, just look at what your life looks like right now. Because if you don't change, if you don't transform, if you don't shift your thinking, your actions, your words, if you don't make those shifts, right, then you just get more of the same. Who wants more of the same? I asked this question in the email too. It's okay if you want more of the same. But guess what? I love how a couple of you said, yeah, I want more of the same because I kind of like mine right now. It's kind of good. Good, I'm glad for you. And if you don't aspire to just a little bit more, just a little bit more life, just a little bit more freedom, just a little bit more joy, just a little bit more love, right? If you don't have that little bit of aspiration, that little bit of desire, you end up like pond scum. Nobody wants to be pond scum, do they, Cindy? No, right? So there's still just a little bit more. Even if you're really satisfied, even if life is going like awesome right now, there's always the possibility for more because the universe is forever and ever expanding. It's forever and ever expanding, forever and ever wanting to know more of itself, forever and ever wanting to experience more of itself. So if we stop moving and we stop growing, we're in direct contrast, or we're directly contrarian to our natural nature, to our divine nature, which is forward movement, which is evolution, which is evolve, right? Evolving. If we choose to stay stagnant, we're acting against our own divine nature. And wouldn't that be a sin? Not sin is like punishable by death or punishable by, eternal hellfire, no. But sin simply as making a mistake, right? And so we know that we're not punished for our sins, but rather we're punished by them because sin is simply missing the mark, right? And so when we stop missing the mark, when we stop moving in the wrong direction, and we start heading in the right direction, then consequently, life improves, life gets better. So then we're being pulled by the future. So if we're headed in the right direction, we're allowing ourselves to be pulled by the future. Sound good? All right. So how many of you have been paying attention to the news this week? Oh, great big sighs, and all the hands go up. Okay, nice deep breath. So this week started with the Jalisco New Generation Cartel setting fire to cars and a few convenience stores in the state of Jalisco in Mexico after El Mencho, their leader, was killed, right? So that started the week. Woohoo! And then we are finishing the week with Israel and the United States bombing Iran and killing the supreme leader of Iran. Woohoo! What a roller coaster of a week, would you say? Not that either of those things should really be celebrated. What is happening, my beloveds, is that there is a vision that is strong and powerful and making its way because the collective consciousness buys into and says yes to this vision. Now, is this a vision that you and I hold for our country or for the world? I didn't think so, right? No, it's not, right? What kind of vision do we hold for the United States, the region, the world? What kind of vision do we hold? Peace, prosperity, love, openness, accessibility, acceptance, equanimity, equity, equality, diversity, inclusion. Okay. So, my beloveds, when we have a vision, that vision attracts the resources and support that it needs to be made manifest. Let me say that again. When we have a clear vision, it attracts the resources and support that it needs to be made manifest. So isn't it crazy, or isn't it not crazy, isn't it amazing how quickly resources become available, funding becomes available, allocations become available, activity becomes available, technology deploys, right? And entire systems reorganize around war. Look how quickly there's money. Look how quickly there's access. Look how quickly resources become available. It's there. We live in an abundant universe. It's clearly there. So what I'm going to ask you is, what if the vision, the collective human vision, the collective vision of humanity, what if we actually focused it on things like what we just mentioned? That the vision focuses on peace, on belonging, on inclusion, on shared resources, on compassion. What if you and I held that vision higher, louder, longer, bigger than the words of division, than the words of separation, than the vision of other? What if we collectively came together with our brothers and sisters and siblings of other faith traditions, of non-faith traditions, of people in our community, and we advanced the vision of love? What if we had a clear idea, a clear vision of what it means to truly be one, of unity? That's what we're being called to do, my beloveds. We are being called to come together, to unite together, to have a larger vision, to have a larger vision, to share a larger vision with one another that is so powerful, so great, that it overcomes anything unlike it. Imagine how quickly resources could be amassed with compassion at the head. Compassion as the vision. Imagine technology being deployed for education, to bring everyone together, to lift up the ideas of oneness and humanity. Imagine what is possible when resources are shared for the lives, for the betterment of the lives of all, not just a few. And you see, this is on the worldwide level, right? But where does it start? It starts here inside too, right? So, do you have a clear vision for your life? If you don't have a clear vision for your life, then how are you going to align yourself? How is the vision then going to organize the resources for its fulfillment through you? If you're not clear, if you're not clear on your own life, you don't have a vision for your own life. So we have the opportunity here to ask yourself, self? What is the vision for my life? What is the high idea for my life in this moment? What is wanting to be expressed through me in this moment? And then we have the ability to listen and then follow the internal guidance, the internal knowing. Because it is that internal knowing that is always guiding you forward, that is always saying yes, that is always expressing for the highest and best. Too often we get confused that we have to succumb to outer pressures, that we have to choose sides, that we have to harden our ideas, that we have to succumb to fear, that we react, and then we retaliate, and then we escalate. But see, spiritual revolution, my beloveds, is guided by conscience and consciousness. It's a deeper, quieter insistence that violence is not going to be the final language of our species. It is a quiet, deeper intelligence, a love intelligence, a divine wisdom that is alive within each and every one of us, that we simply have to tap into, just get quiet enough to listen to. And we can practice this daily. How many times you go to the bathroom during the day? None of my business. I don't care. You don't have to answer that out loud. But use the time wisely. It's uninterrupted time, unless the dogs or cats decide to come visit you. It's uninterrupted time. It's time that you have all to yourself. Use the time wisely to allow your body to do what it does, but also bring your consciousness back into alignment. Be present in that moment. Hopefully you shower daily. Use the shower. Most likely the cats and dogs don't join you there. Use the shower. Use your time as you're driving. Stopped at a stoplight. Don't close your eyes when you're driving, please. Or even at a stoplight, because I don't want to be behind you like laying on the horn like move, okay? But just be present. Take time during your day to be present and tap into and listen to the internal guidance of Spirit that is always speaking to you, always speaking to you, always sharing a high idea, always guiding you in the right direction, headed in the right direction. Just have to listen to it. Just have to listen. Your future self, our future selves, are calling us. The generations in the future are already looking back and whispering from the future, hey, join us in alignment. Hey, we want to live in peace and prosperity. We want to experience love and joy. Remember, our present is the crystal ball of our future. If we continue on the same trajectory that we have said yes to in this moment, if we continue on to the same trajectory that we are experiencing right now, guess what? The future doesn't look so bright, does it? The future can look brighter. Tomorrow can look brighter. An hour can look brighter. An hour away can look brighter. A minute from now can look brighter. If we allow ourselves to align with a greater wisdom. You see, as we continue to evolve, as evolution continues to flow, what happens is there's a greater complexity, there's a greater connection, there's a greater awareness, there's a greater unity that is being called forth. But if our present day is the crystal ball of our future, then what that means is that present day, we must begin in earnest, in earnest, to create the future that we wish to live in, to create the future that generations following us, perhaps it's your children, perhaps it's your grandchildren, perhaps it's your great-grandchildren, perhaps it's your dogs, your cats, whatever. Perhaps it is, future generations upon future generations. We have the responsibility as spiritually awake people to create, to do everything we can to create a world that works for everyone in all of creation. That's our responsibility. When people are asking what's mine to do, that's yours to do. But again, where does it start? It starts with the individual. It starts with each and every one of us. Bringing ourselves into alignment with the future that we wish to see, with our future selves. So when I asked you to think about your vision for your life, your vision for yourself, bring yourself into alignment with your future self. And start taking steps now, daily, here, to align yourself with your future self. Do something your future self is going to thank you for. Do that today. Last week, man, my future self last week, the person who was here last week on the 22nd, was so grateful to my past self that said, hey, you know what? It is our annual meeting day, and you know what would really be supportive of you at our annual meeting day is only to have to do the annual meeting. So why don't you have James Woods speak for you that day? And he did. My past self looked out for my future self so that when I got to February 22nd, James did the talk so I could do the general meeting. Guess what? Jeffrey last week was so happy that James spoke because Jeffrey last week didn't have to do extra work, right? So what can you do today to then prepare for your future self? What can you take care of today that your future self is going to say, oh, man, I am so grateful that past self took care of this so that I don't have to do this today? I am so grateful. Clean the toilet. Vacuum the floor. Purchase the groceries. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be momentous. But those little things add up that will free up time and space for your future self, that will free you up to come into and live in alignment with the vision that you are holding for your own future. This brings you into alignment with your future. Like this idea? Clear out the garage? We've been working on that for years. Right? Shh, don't tell my secrets. The other word of caution here, or another thing here, don't drag your past into the future, right? Travel lightly. We have so much baggage. We have so much junk laying around. Mom, I'm talking to you. You can get rid of my art project from 8th grade. I give you full permission to throw it out. Right? She's at home watching from Las Vegas. Throw it out. I won't miss it. I know it's there. Throw it out. Right? We don't need to be dragging 22-year-old Oreos around either, do we? No. Love you. Right? Doesn't need to happen every time we move. That we take schlock from the past and we schlep it into our new home. We schlep it into our new future. And then we're carrying it. Now we're storing it. Now we're paying for storage somewhere. We can't park our car in the garage. Whatever, right? All this stuff. Let it go, right? Be like Elsa. Let it go, right? Oftentimes, global conflict and also our internal conflict is accumulated grievances or accumulated nostalgia of wanting what used to be. Except we can't have what used to be. There is no again, right? There's only the forward movement. So when we look at what's happening in Iran, for example, back in 1953, the Iranian government decided to nationalize the oil industry, nationalize its oil resources, the way that Venezuela did, nationalize their oil resources. Well, guess what? British Petroleum, the United Kingdom, did not like that because the United Kingdom had control over Iranian oil. So, the United States and the UK overthrew the government back in 1953 and installed the Shah. Then the Shah, who was very favorable to the United States and the United Kingdom, things were going well, right? Kind of. But what happened there is then we had over 50,000 U.S. citizens plus, all these foreigners running around driving motorcycles through the most holy sites of Iran, driving their motorcycles through the mosques. And so people got upset. Well, rightly so. Wouldn't you get upset if somebody drove their motorcycle through here, screaming and yelling and whooping it up? And so guess what happened? There was the toppling of the Shah in 79 and replaced with the Islamic Republic, or the Islamic regime that's been there ever since, the conservative Islamic Republic. Now, here we are again, and now there's being calls for freedom. And so here we are now with the overthrow of, not the overthrow, but with the killing of the Ayatollah. We don't know what's going to happen, whether there is going to be a regime change or not. The people of Iran most of the people of Iran and in the diaspora are very happy that he's gone. Same thing could be said for Venezuela. Very happy that Maduro is gone. And yet, the way that the United States, specifically this administration, has gone about it, has been illegal. So there is a complexity here. There is a history here. There is all this old baggage here that is now coming to bear fruit in today's time, right? And so those ideas, those seeds that are planted, the universe only says what? Yes. And so what we see is we see old seeds that were planted bearing fruit today. So what do we want to do? We need to plant new seeds. We need to plant new ideas. We need to change old beliefs and replace them with new beliefs. Because that is what, in order to have the future pull us in a direction of life, in a direction of love, in a direction of light, right? We need to be planting those seeds now. Again, the crystal ball, predictor of our future, is present day. Individually, too. How many grudges are you holding on to? Who are you not forgiving? One. Only one. It's a big one, right? But how many grudges? Where are you being unforgiving? Where are you still dragging the past with you, allowing it to still live in your present, and allowing it to still dictate what your future is going to look like. Anybody want to be free of that? In order to have a different future, we have to make a different decision now. We have to take different action now. We have to make different choices now. So with that, let's go to tables and let's have a discussion around what vision is pulling you forward right now. What is the smallest step that you can take toward that vision this week? And how can the community support you in your becoming? Beloveds, humanity is still becoming. Consciousness is still evolving. Our future is still possible. Our future is not decided solely by governments and armies, but by consciousness. The visions that you and I hold, the humanity that we insist on, the love that we refuse to abandon. This is the future that we co-create together. And so your homework this week is to take one action for your future self that your future self would thank you for. And then share that with us in the Facebook group. And I would suggest that you take at least one action daily for what your future self would be thanking you for. Beloveds, are we going to continue to let, or are we going to allow the future to pull us? Pull. 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 And so it is. And let's come together in consciousness. Recognizing here now that there simply is one power and one presence, one love that is expressing itself through all of creation as all of creation. There simply is this one, inseparable, totality, the Alpha and the Omega. It is both transcendent and immanent, present right where each one is, present to itself, knowing itself, expressing itself through each and every one gathered here this day and each and every one on the face of the planet. So I know that because there is only this one, that I am a divine emanation and impartation of this one life. And as this is true of me, I know that this is true of everyone. That each of us is a sibling, a brother, a sister, an expression of the one life in perfect form. And so I speak my word here and now for this beloved community, Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, knowing that we carry a high vision of a world that works for everyone in all of creation. That we do not abandon humanity, nor do we abandon our humanity. Rather, we continue to express love. We continue to seek truth. We continue to know the truth of our oneness, our wholeness, our unity with all of life and with one another. And so we cast our vision here for truly a world of peace, of harmony, of love, of sufficiency, of equity, of equanimity, of abundance, of joy, of harmony, of divine right order. We know peace anywhere that there is conflict in the world. whether it is armed conflict between nations, conflict in our families, or conflict within ourselves. We know that there is a love intelligence, a peace that passes all understanding, and we call it forth now in the presence of conflict. We call forth abundance and sufficiency where there is any apparent lack or limitation. We call forth freedom, knowing that each one of us is free, that this is our divine birthright. This is who we truly are, expressions of freedom, wholeness, and unity. And so we know this for everyone on the planet, everyone around the world. For there is only one here, now, and always. So I give thanks for this truth. I give thanks for this vision. I give thanks for its amplification, knowing that this vision already has the resources and the capability of manifesting itself here and now. So I simply release it into the law, trusting and knowing it is done, trusting and knowing it is so. Together we affirm, and so it is. So I invite everybody to stand, and let's say this affirmation for the week. My vision pulls me into greater good. Let's try it all together this time. My vision pulls me into greater good. Something wonderful is happening right now. Is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move forward because love lives here. Let's sing.